Oh yeah, and ban this shit, please. I will never for the life of me understand why they didn't ban Treacherous Trap Hole right here, right now. It's a single-use trap card that can win you the game by itself. It's way too strong.
It's 5 in the morning, and I just woke up to find that Treacherous Trap Hole is still not banned. So I am actually, unironically, doing a face reveal to prove, to justify how upset I am and how much this, it's like they didn't even consider it. It's like they didn't even consider it. So it's got to be me. It's got to be me to you to say, this is bullshit. And they like validated my thing about them limiting archetypal cards to 2 because they think that'll fix everything. So Swallow's Nest was the victim that time, and Thunder Dragons took the piss. I'm going to talk about it. But, you know, I just learned this, and I'm doing a face reveal. Just to prove how upsetting this is. I don't understand. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to hell. So we got a ban list again, and you know, the last one was pretty polarizing to me, and I can say the same thing about this one. However, I gotta say I'm really actually not all that happy with this one. I like some things, but there's a lot of things I don't like. So let's just get into it. Swallow's Nest, limited to 2, so Harpies can't run it alongside Elegant Egotist or Treacherous Trap Hole, so they kind of have to make the decision. But I kind of view this the same way I did with Elegant Egotist. Like, it was dumb because they limited the card that they can search directly from the deck. And like, what I don't like about this is it does have an alternative, granted not as good in Forbidden Lands, but same idea basically to protect your Harpy normal summon. Now, like, Swallow's Nest was nice because, like, if you bricked and you opened Oracle, you could normal summon Oracle and then Swallow's Nest it to go get Channeler and then start building your board from there. So, like, the card wasn't just to bail them out for their normal summon, but, you know, it's like Forbidden Lance can do it too. And I see them running packages of Forbidden Lance and Chalice, and they might just drop Swallow's Nest altogether and still go with the one Egotist and the one Treach. I don't see them giving up Egotist, so it could be one Egotist and one Swallow's Nest, or, you know, something. Is this going to nerf Harpy Ladies enough? I mean, you know, it'll knock it down a few pegs, but I still think they will be viable and still be meta, as weak as the meta is right now. And it's funny to me that, like, as it greatly boosts the power level and consistency of Harpy decks, and it's like, if you were worried about that, then you should have limited Harpy Channeler to 2. Like, that would have been the better move. If you really wanted to nerf the consistency, then Harpy Channeler. It's a mini box super rare. Like, you're not hurting that many people's feelings by putting Harpy Channeler to 2. So this is just another weak nerf to Harpies. Like, they have no idea what they're doing. But again, it's just like, well, they can't run it alongside Treacherous Trap Hole, so it's good. It's like, no, it's not good. So, and then Spellbook of the Master. So this is interesting. So Spellbook of the Master is limited to 2, and then they brought Spellbook of Fate up to 3. So that's kind of interesting. So a lot of people are saying Spellbook's got a buff from this, and I agree. And this is basically a telltale sign, almost confirmation that we'll be getting Spellbook support soon. So, you know, maybe that's why they didn't ban Treacherous Trap Hole, hoping that, you know, maybe we bring Spellbook of Judgment and just, you know, power creep Treacherous Trap Hole. It'll be cool. I'm kind of excited for Spellbooks, actually. We have a decent amount of their support, but to make them fully viable, yeah, we will need more support. So I think that'd be cool to see. Just kind of depends. They got to be careful with them for sure. But yeah, so this is kind of a buff for Spellbooks, actually. And then these are the 2 that everyone's talking about. And yeah, so Levy and Dragon Dark, both to 3. Now, I gotta say, I'm stunned that they even touched Levy. I really didn't think they would. You know, not that I didn't want them to, but I'm surprised because the thing is a main box ultra rare, and it's an ultra rare in 2 mini boxes. And like the volume 1 super mini, that big ripoff that came out not too long ago with like an alternative artwork, like, it just came out, and So it's kind of weird to me that they just released a second reprint of Chaos Dragon and then they limit it. And it's like, you know, people put good gems and good money into getting this card. So I'm kind of surprised. And it's like Dragon Dark's an ultra rare too, but he's a free to play ultra rare. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. And Dragon Dark's been limited to 3 before. So I personally don't really, you know, I think Chaos Dragon's overpowered for sure. And like, it's pretty cut and dry that the reason like Thunder Dragons were so oppressive was because of Levy. Like, and you know, they didn't have to run back row removal because like Levy was their back row removal. Simply activating this monster's effect gives the player a big step towards victory. Yeah. Yeah, you ever heard of Yeah, man, you know, whatever. I can take it or leave it, the nerf to Thunder Dragons. I mean, they like recently just like showed like, we can still compete with basically every deck in the game. So, you know, this is warranted. And, you know, like Lupine to 2, like that's what I predicted that, and that happened. And I was thinking that would kind of be enough to, you know, not really kill Thunder Dragons, but you know, knock them down to where they wouldn't be as oppressive. And it was like that for a little bit until people found better ways to optimize it. And then basically just, you know, draw, send, spell, and trap for Melody was, you know, that was kind of the step. So like limiting Chaos Dragon and Dragon Dark to 3, I think that'll do it. Now I will add the caveat that there could be other ways to play Thunder Dragons that people can find. And, you know, maybe they'll substitute like Levy with Chaos Sorcerer or something. But, you know, like Chaos Sorcerer isn't nearly as good of a card. So, you know, and the fact is like, and so it is kind of smart on their part to limit him to 3. So like, if you wanted to run 3 Levy in like a different deck, like there's not a whole lot of limit 3s in the game. So like they didn't like take it down that much. So like if you still wanted to run 3 Levy, you can. So, you know, I think this is a decent move to hit Thunder Dragons. Personally, I would have did something a little different. And then, so we have 2 cards taken off the list, and Gaga Sister. This is one I was kind of surprised they didn't take it off last time, and honestly, they could take Head off too. Like, you know, the deck's just not even competitive without the skill, like, at all. So, like, unlimiting Sister and unlimiting Head, you know, it would make them more viable, and, you know, they could probably be a pretty good rogue deck, but yeah, just without the skill, I mean, you know, they'll never hit the heights of, like, what they were doing. It was, you know, Onimat was, it was a strong meta. It really was. The previous meta, just Onimats and Thunder Dragons, and they were just way above everything else, but like Onimat was definitely the best deck. And then of course, like when they could use Rhinoceros, I mean, they were tier 0, so yeah, Onimat was stupid. So I agree with this, and yeah. And then Iron Core of Kyakumiru, they didn't touch Maximus, but they unlimited Iron Core. So I don't know. I mean, like, Kyakumiru has been power crept so hard. I don't know if it can compete with the current meta or even a lot of the current rogue decks, but you know, this could be the floodgate opening for Kyakumiru to, you know, maybe put something together again. And they didn't rebalance any skills, and they didn't hit Melodious at all. And like, I don't know. It's like, you know, I would imagine the reason they didn't hit Melodious is because it's a relatively recent meta deck. And like, what frustrates me about that was like, and I was a full-blown Resonator player, like Resonator stan. Like, I was upset about the nerf to Demon's Resonance because it was kind of unjustified, but I was more upset about what they did to Tech Genis. And so it's like with Tech Genis, like the way they were being built with the set Delta Axle skill, like it was so cool. Like that was a really impressive deck that like just like entered the meta. Like it just entered like tier 3, and like it was competing okay. But, you know, it was this exciting, new, really fun deck that was showing its power level. And, you know, I was kind of thinking that, like, it would end up being, like, in my Dream Ticket video, I said, like, I'm going to use it on my 3rd Screw Serpent because, like, I see Tech Genis. But, yeah, then they just kind of abolished them, like way too early. It was like Karakuri. So it's like, you know, Melodious, which I don't think Melodious is, like, all that strong comparatively to other metas, but I do think they're going to end up being tier 1 because of this, and they will see a ton of play. I think Destiny Hero is going to see quite a bit of play, and then I think we're going to see some of the outside rogue decks come back. So like Water Exceed, I think is going to be tiered, and they'll come back and they'll do some damage. I think decks like Triamid and Magnets, like they're going to do really well. So we'll have to see. I think Gaia could probably pop back up in the meta a little bit. So overall, I am pissed. And 90% of why is because, dude, it's like, you know, I'm not like all that surprised, because I even said in my fucking 10-minute video dedicated to why Treacherous Trap Hole needs to be banned. I even said that like Konami doesn't seem to really know what's going on in their own game, and it's just like their explanation for Chaos Dragon is just so infuriating to me, and it's like they do the same thing. Like, I swear to God, like, and you know, Chaos Dragon can destroy spells and traps, but it's like Treacherous Trap Hole is just as strong, and they're both overpowered, and in my opinion, neither of them should be in the game. And I just, again, like, they didn't even entertain it. That's just like what it feels like. Like, they didn't even, like, they don't even know, or they're just content with, you know, limiting Swallow's Nest and Elegant Egotist and whatever the hell else, just so you can't run them alongside 2 Treacherous Trap Hole. It's getting old. The card is way too strong, and the fact that it's going to exist in another format, and it's still going to be the most played trap card, it's going to be prioritized over every other trap card, it's not going to change. And it's just infuriating. Like I can't believe it. Like, seriously? You know, again, I'm not really, like, surprised, but I'm just let down. I'm so let down, because, like, I was hoping to be pleasantly surprised. But, you know, here we are, and I'm fine with all of this. You know, like, whatever. It's fine. You know, I don't think, like, I would have nerfed Harpies differently. Personally, I would have put Channeler to 2. Again, mini box super rare. You're not really hurting anyone's feelings. And, like, you know, the limit to Chaos Dragon, it's fine, because in other decks you can still run 3 copies of it. And it's like, you can't run Cosmic Cyclone, but he's great at spell and trap removal anyway, and you can't run like Floodgate. But I mean, typically you're not going to be playing Levy in like a deck that you'd play Floodgate with. So yeah, so that's my thoughts, and that's the update for anyone that hasn't seen it yet. So I hope you guys enjoyed my obviously jaded and bitter rant about this. I got a lot more videos coming this week, so I'll see you guys in those ones. And yeah. What's it gonna take? Like, what's it gonna take? Like, is it gonna take like the president, like, you know, fucking mandating it? Seriously.